পার হয়ে মোর হৃদয় মাঝারে।
কিন্তু যারা ইলেকশনের সময় গুন্ডামি করতে আসে আর দাঙ্গা করতে আসে তাদের আমরা মনে করি তারা বাংলা থেকে বহিরাগতদের এখানে কোনো স্থান নেই।
विश्व भारती मां भारती के लिए गुरुदेव के चिंतन, दर्शन और परिश्रम का एक साकार अवतार है।
Well, it's the first time in recent times where during the West Bengal elections, being a Bengali has become an election issue. I'm Pallavi Ghosh, and my one take this week is precisely on the role of the icons of Bengal that they're playing in the fight between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress. Now, earlier, few months back at the anniversary of Rabindranath Tagore, Mamata Banerjee was actually singing Rabindra Sangeet. Nothing new, those who know her, because she is a very able singer. She loves to play the music even on her iPhone. But this time there was an election strategy to it. Which is why, because a tune is also being played by the BJP. Now, every time Mamata Banerjee attacks the BJP for being a North Indian party or the Hindu belt party, the BJP's counter to it is that we are the only ones who can bring about Sonar Bangla, something which Mamata Banerjee cannot bring, how Bengal has completely degenerated. It's not just degenerated because of the economy and other political factors, but also because the Bengal's icons like Rabindranath Tagore, Vidyasagar, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, Subhash Chandra Bose, none of them are being given importance by Mamata Banerjee and her government. Now, for the BJP, in terms of its strategy, it is very important to raise these icons during the elections, because this is the only way they can counter this perception of them being a Hindi-oriented or a Hindustan Central India-oriented party. And therefore, they are going to counter it with that of the Trinamool Congress and that of Mamata Banerjee. So we are seeing a lot of acrimony which is taking place. For example, a setting up of that committee on Subhash Chandra Bose's celebrations. Now that committee also has Mamata Banerjee, it of course also has the Home Minister, so on and so forth. But the lead is going to be taken by the BJP back in Bengal by saying that we are the ones who are actually giving the due to Subhash Chandra Bose, who has always been neglected. See, there's one thing which the Bengalis have an angst about, is that in the freedom struggle history of India, Subhash Chandra Bose was never given his due place. In fact, the edge which the BJP also has over the TMC is a declassification of the Bose files. The fact is, a member of the Subhash Chandra Bose family also contested on the BJP ticket is going to be used effectively by the BJP, and especially when the Prime Minister begins his campaign over there to hit out at Mamata Banerjee. But the Trinamool Congress is not one to keep quiet. They're going to give up instances. For example, the wrong garlanding of the statue of Birsa Munda by Home Minister allegedly, the attack on the Vidyasagar statue, the setting up of the statue, or rebuilding or the installation of the statue first by the Trinamool Congress and not by the BJP, despite a promise coming in from the BJP. These are going to be the main flashpoints between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress. Now, what is really happening here? What is happening over here is that the TMC says we don't have to prove that we are a Bengali, because we are Ma Mati Manush, we are Bengali, we understand that this is Amar Bangla, this is West Bengal, belongs to us. These are people who are tourist natives who are coming in from outside. The counter to it from the BJP is, it's not true. We are the ones who are understanding the value of Bengal. We are getting you Sonar Bangla, something which Mamata Banerjee could not get. What is a Bengali without the importance being given to a Rabindranath Tagore or Subhash Chandra Bose or Vidyasagar or Swami Vivekananda? We are giving you importance. We are giving these icons importance, and therefore we are the only ones who understand what West Bengal, Bengal culture, history, literature is all about. It's interesting because what it's making Mamata Banerjee do is walk that extra mile, from singing in the Rabindra Sangeet to actually going to Shanti Niketan. They are going to be very important parts of our campaign, as we are being told by her party sources, as we move closer to the polling dates in Bengal. Now, as far as the BJP is concerned, again I'm told by the sources, is that when the Prime Minister starts hitting the ground, his get-up, his look as Rabindranath Tagore, talking about Bengal's rich culture, how it's the BJP who understood the value of the declassification of the Bose files, how merely singing the Rabindra Sangeet does not mean that you value Rabindranath Tagore, that merely talking about Ma Mati Manush doesn't mean that you understand the soil of Bengal. It's we who can bring you the actual value of the soil of Bengal. Of course, the counter to this coming in from the Trinamool Congress is that who's your CM candidate? Will you get an outsider or will it be a son of the soil? Because no one can beat Mamata Banerjee on this game is the argument of the Trinamool Congress. Several questions being asked. As far as the younger people in Bengal is concerned, they say we want development, we want jobs. Just falling back on history is not enough for us. But you know, as a true-bred Bengali, everyone understands that a Bengali would always, despite all these demands for a change, would actually also want our history to be valued. At a time when we're talking about pan-India, about every state talking about their own culture, Bengalis would also want the icons to be worshipped, to be given a pan-India appeal and also to be recognized. And that's where the battle is taking place between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress. And that's the many other questions which many of you are asking me on the social media. So the battle for Bengal is gearing up, it is brewing, it's becoming extremely acrimonious. And in this, history is playing a very key role.